Have you ever heard of a leader who ruled from a tent, was protected by an all-female bodyguard unit, and held absolute power for over 4 decades? This is the story of Mouammar Kadhafi, the man who shaped Libya for 42 years. Born in a desert tent in 1942, Gaddafi's early life was far from the palaces he would later inhabit. As a young army officer, he was filled with revolutionary ideas. But in 1969, at just 27 years old, he led a bloodless military coup, overthrowing King Idris and declaring Libya a republic. He quickly consolidated his power, calling himself the brotherly leader and guide of the revolution. Gaddafi's rule was defined by his unique political philosophy, outlined in his Green Book. He dismantled the state's institutions and replaced them with a system he called Jamahiriya, or state of the masses. In theory, it was a form of direct democracy. In reality, it was a system that concentrated all power in his hands. For decades, Libya was a country of contradictions under his rule. On one hand, Gaddafi used the nation's immense oil wealth to fund significant social programs. Literacy rates soared, and access to healthcare and housing improved dramatically for many Libyans. The Great Man-Made River Project, a massive network of pipes bringing water from desert aquifers to coastal cities, is still one of the largest engineering projects in the world. He presented himself as a Pan-African and Pan-Arab hero, fighting against Western imperialism. On the other hand, his regime was notoriously brutal. Dissent was crushed, secret police were everywhere, and political opponents, both at home and abroad, were often silenced permanently. His government was linked to numerous international incidents, including the 1988 bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland, which made him an international pariah for years. His behavior was often eccentric and unpredictable. He would set up his Bedouin tent on visits to foreign capitals and was famously surrounded by his Amazonian Guard, a group of elite female bodyguards. For a time, Gaddafi tried to rebrand himself. In the early 2000s, he renounced his weapons of mass destruction programs and began to normalize relations with the West. It seemed he might end his career as a reformed, albeit still eccentric, elder statesman. But that all changed in 2011. Inspired by uprisings in neighboring Tunisia and Egypt, the Arab Spring swept into Libya. Protests against his 4-decade rule began in the city of Benghazi. Unlike the leaders of Tunisia and Egypt, who stepped down, Gaddafi vowed to fight. He famously declared he would hunt down the protesters house by house, alley by alley, and cleanse Libya inch by inch. The protests quickly escalated into a full-blown civil war. NATO forces intervened with airstrikes, ostensibly to protect civilians. The rebel forces, backed by international air power, advanced across the country. One by one, the cities held by Gaddafi's loyalists fell. In August 2011, rebels stormed his compound in Tripoli, but the man himself was nowhere to be found. For 2 months, Gaddafi was a fugitive in his own country. The end came on October 20, 2011. In his hometown of Cette, as he tried to escape the besieged city in a convoy, NATO aircraft struck. He and his remaining loyalists took cover in a large drainage pipe. It was there that rebel fighters found him, alive. The final moments of his life were chaotic and violent, captured on grainy cell phone videos that quickly spread around the world. The man who had ruled Libya with an iron fist for 42 years was captured, beaten, and killed by the very people he had once commanded. His death marked the definitive end of an era. The story of Mouammar Kadhafi is a complex legacy of development and repression of revolutionary ideals turned into absolute dictatorship. It's a powerful reminder of how quickly the tides of history can turn and how even the most entrenched power can crumble. What are your thoughts on his long and controversial rule? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story interesting, be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history. See you next time.